Hello, my name's Jackie James, and today I'm going to be talking about what makes a good name. So, why is the right name important? Well, the right name can tell people a little bit about you. It can tell people the sort of therapist you are, what your focus is. It can give people confidence in you, and it can help people choose you over your competition, or at least be interested enough to find out a little bit more about you. Why is the right name important? Because if people are trying to find a therapist without having met you, and I know some of the people will be looking for you because they've already met you and you've convinced them that you're a good therapist. But if they've not met you, if they're just going on to the FHT's list of therapists and they're deciding who to choose from that list, then the right name can be important and it can help you get ahead of your competition. Other than seeing your picture, the name is often the most important thing to encourage clients to choose you, because generally people don't click onto more information until they've made their choice of, the 3 therapists they're going to look at. So your first thing you want to think about is, are you going to go for your own name or are you going to choose a different name? Lots of therapists use their own name because you can have a really strong brand image, and therapy is all about the person. So your beliefs and values are part of your brand. The drawback in using your own name can be if you want to grow and employ other therapists. If you're selling yourself, so if I've got Jackie James Holistics and someone books in a treatment, they're going to expect Jackie James to be their therapist. Well, if it's someone else that turns up, they might feel shortchanged. Also, if you want to sell your business, having your own name makes it very difficult for the person buying your business to pick up all of your branding. So Jackie James Holistic Therapist only works for Jackie James, and the likelihood of finding another Jackie James who's a therapist in my area that wants to buy my business, really small. Right, using a different name. So it allows you to put whatever values and meaning you like into the name, and it's also useful if you want to concentrate on specific areas such as stress or fertility. You can build not necessarily the word stress or fertility into the name, but you can build something that people would go, actually, yeah, I think I would go with them. You can work with other businesses. So if you're going on-site massage, actually having a different name rather than the therapist name is a better option. You can grow and employ other therapists because there's no specific therapist associated with the business name, and you can offer therapists you don't have a qualification in yourself. You just bring in a therapist to offer the therapy, and it's also easier to sell your business if you've got a name that isn't your name. Right, common mistakes. Putting the name of your first therapy in your business. Now, lots and lots of therapists do that. They think, yeah, that's what I want. I'm going to use my name. I'm going to put my first therapy in there. And that's great to start with, but as you grow, you might find it harder to attract the clients you want. So Jackie James Aromatherapy is great for me to start with my aromatherapy business, and people will come to me. But once I've included reflexology, are people looking for a reflexologist going to come to Jackie James Aromatherapy? They may not, but it's one thing to think about. Another mistake is using words which are hard to pronounce, or words people often pronounce incorrectly. So let's say you love the crystal, and I'm saying camera right, I don't know, and you want to use it as your business name. Now, there's 2 problems here. The first is the crystal name is spelt in different ways. So if it's part of your website address, you could lose clients because people just can't find you. And the other thing is, some people are going to be put off calling you because they won't be able to pronounce the name, and they're worried about pronouncing it incorrectly. The other thing is choosing a name where the most obvious website addresses have already been taken up, so you end up with a really long or difficult to remember website address. The other thing, you can choose a name which has the wrong connotations or double meaning. So this can lead to clients not considering you. Now, there's nothing wrong with beauty, but if I say I'm Jackie James Beauty and Therapist, I might not get a client who's looking for help with fertility, because my focus from that name is the beauty. And it is fine to do beauty and therapies. You've got to think about, well, what your focus is and how to incorporate that in your name. Or you might not be contacted by clients who just want to relax in treatment if they think your name is too medical and you only want to work with people with medical conditions. And the other thing is receiving calls from people you don't want to hear from. Some words in therapy names can lead to calls that actually they're not something you want to take forward. So just be careful about the name you choose. Another mistake is thinking everyone understands the term holistic complementary alternative, and they don't. It's not about holistic or complementary, but I had some people over for dinner one day and I'd got some organic broccoli, and I use quite a lot of organic food, and that's fine, and they were very, very green, and the person who was coming to dinner looked at it and said, oh well, yeah, that's because it's organic. So for her, organic was something negative, and that's why my broccoli was so green. So as a therapist, you know the terms holistic, complementary and alternative, but not everybody does. Now, many therapists do choose these terms really successfully within their business name, but it does depend on who your target clients are. Okay, this could be really good or really bad. Putting your location in your business name can be a fantastic, powerful marketing tool. But if you move your location, it can mean a total rethink. Depending on how far you move, if you've got a really strong brand, you might be better selling that brand and then starting afresh in your new location. Right, okay, steps to make a good first impression. Right, step one, before even considering names, think about your long-term plans for your business. Do you want to be a self-employed therapist? Do you want to run a clinic? Do you want to franchise your branding across the whole of the country? This will all affect the name you choose. Consider who will be your clients. Now, lots of people will say, well, I'll treat everybody. And that's not what it's about. Most therapists will treat anyone. But by working out who your ideal client is, you can focus your marketing on attracting them, which will bring more of your ideal clients. So if your marketing is all about stress relief, you're not going to have the client who's necessarily struggling with their medical condition. So it's about thinking who your client is, and then from that, when you know who your client is, you can work out, well, what terms would attract them and what terms would they not be aware of. So using the information from steps 1 and 2, come up with a list of names which you like. Try to have between 5 and 10. And show them to your friends, family, case study clients, and get some feedback. You might think some of the names are fantastic, and they might look at them and they might just go, well, that's really bad. And then try and narrow down your names to 3. Check out the names you're considering. So check Companies House to see if there are any big companies using the name you want. Go to your therapist organisation, so the AOR or the FHT, to search if anyone is using the name, and Google and see what comes up. Now, if someone's using your name, it doesn't necessarily mean you can't use it. If the name is copyrighted, then you can't use it. But otherwise, even if it's a limited company, you can still use the name, but you need to think about, will their business reflect badly on you? So one therapist I know had a name that was the same as a massage parlour, and that wasn't great it didn't seem to affect her, but I wouldn't have chosen that. How close are they to you geographically? So a business in Scotland isn't going to cause a conflict of interest, but if there's a therapist working in the village next door, the same name's going to cause a lot of confusion. So people that want her might find you, people that are trying to get you might get her. So if it's too close, you've got to think about, maybe I need another name. Step 5, unless you're going to market solely through word of mouth, you're going to need to think about having a website and social media accounts. So check out your website name that you want and see if it's available. So use something like 123reg.co.uk, because that will tell you actually if the website is around and available for you to use. Now, there's lots of different endings at the moment for you to choose. So you can choose, if you're looking at calming influences, I've got .co.uk and I've got .com, but you could also have .uk. So if you just had calminginfluences.uk, you would get people that were looking for me, and some of my clients would get people that were looking for you. So some of these strange endings are not really worth going for. Even if it's the same name, you're going to confuse your clients, and that it's going to cause lots of confusion. Also check you can create a Facebook business account, Instagram with your chosen name. Now, Facebook, you need to be using a business account. If you are using your personal account to sell your therapies, and if Facebook find out, they will delete the account, and then you will have lost all of the links that you've made. So, step 6, choose your name and start using it. Can you change your name? Yeah, you can change it at any time, but each time you change it, you're going to have to do more work to establish your brand. So just think about what you're going to do. If you keep the same name, clients you've not seen for years can still find you, even if you've moved. If they can't find you, they'll go to a different therapist. So I'll just give you a case study. So one of a person that I know, she had a website with her name. So if we say it's Sally Jones, SJ. So she started with Sally Jones as her name. And then as she grew, she created a clinic and she started bringing in other therapists. So from Sally Jones, she changed the name to SJ, so it still had a link to the original name, but it wasn't pointing at a specific therapist, so it was a better name for a clinic. At some point, she then closed SJ, or she sold it, and the person that bought it changed the name to something completely different. So she had spent a lot of time working with local doctors, getting people to understand the services she did, and she's got a thriving business. When the person purchased it and changed the name because he wanted something different, he lost all of that goodwill that he was actually paying for. So the brand can be really important, and you can build up a lot of goodwill with that. So yes, you can change your name, but try not to keep changing it. But if you can't decide on a name, just go with your own name and do something. So start working. Don't let this be something that blocks you from moving on. So, end of presentation. Thank you for watching. If you've got any questions, please do get in touch with me. Thank you.